Hey, so last night while I was asleep, wake, I tend to dream quite a bit, or the Lord awakes me as I played the Bible while I sleep at night. And one of the things that He brought me to was number 16 last night. And the one thing that He laid on my heart that I kind of want to share with everybody is we have got to stop shaking our fist at the Lord and grumbling. He is really upset with all of the complaints, all the grumblings and the goings on. And the one thing that stood out to me was, first He smited 3,000, but then the earth swallowed 14,000 or consumed 250 men who were offering incense. But it opened up and literally their houses, their homes, everything. And that was in Numbers 16:28, if you want to read the story about Korah and his men and all their possessions. And God said, move away from them. Their sins are so great that if you do not leave these wicked men alone and do not touch anything that they have, because they will be swept away because of all their sins. And He told them to stay away from them. And what happened? And they blamed it on Moses afterwards. But Moses said God was doing a new thing. And now you're going to know that I was sent by God because He's doing something different. So what happened? As soon as Moses had finished saying all this, the ground beneath them split open and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their households. All of Korah's men and their possessions. They went down alive into the pit, into Sheol, with all they owned. The earth closed up over them and they vanished from the assembly. God is telling what I was hearing when He went on and on. The murmurings and the plagues. And then He plagued, I want to say 14,000 people. And Moses told Aaron, hurry up, go out there. You have to go out there, make atonement. Otherwise, all these plagues are going to come out. And you can find that in Numbers 16:41. All the grumbling and all the complaining and all the murmuring. God has had it. And He's been telling me that He's had it. He's had it with all these people. And I listen to people that tell me all the time, well, God better do what I say. Or God better do what I want Him to do. Or, well, He's just going to have to make a change for me. And all these people that well, He's going to like it anyway. No, he's not going to like it. No, He doesn't have to like it. He's God. He's the infinite being. He created you to have a relationship with Him. And for those that don't want to have a relationship with Him, that's your choice. But your choice is also the pit of hell. Just saying. You have the opportunity. And with doing different things and going into the courts of heaven and, meeting with the Father and being able to see, He's tired. He's tired of these people. And there's people that they flat out will say they know God, but they don't care. They hate Him. And they love Lucifer. And their final stage is going to be with Lucifer. And then you got all these people that claim to be Christians, but they're really on Team Lucifer and they're doing his dirty bidding and his dirty work. We're in an hour of judgment. This is the year of judgment. It's also the year for the chosen. And I do believe the latter rain has already started being poured out on the people. And God is asking for you to pick a team. But if you're going to complain, murmur, and carry on, He might smite you. He's pretty much had enough of all of that. The next day, the whole congregation of Israel was grumbling against Moses and Aaron saying, you have killed the Lord's people. But when the congregation gathered against them, Moses and Aaron turned toward the tent of meeting, and suddenly the cloud, which was God, covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron went to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord said to Moses, get away from this congregation, so that I may consume them in an instant. But they blocked the way because they were like, no, Lord, please don't do it. Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground. And they said, And Moses said to Aaron, take your censer, place a fire from the altar in it, and add incense. Go quickly to the congregation and make atonement for them. Because wrath has come out from the Lord. The plague has begun. And he brought me to that last night. And I truly feel that's where we're at. My friend had a dream. It was a black horse with sword drawn in it. It was over a Kroger grocery store. Famine's here. The famine is here. And it's going to be a food shortage. It's here. He's letting you know. He's here. Disease and sickness is here. It's time. So Aaron took the censer as Moses had ordered and ran into the midst of the assembly. And seeing that the plague had begun among the people, he offered the incense and made atonement for the people. He stood between the living and the dead, and the plague was halted. But those who died from the plague numbered 14,700, in addition to those who had died on account of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting, since the plague had been halted. The plagues are here. They're here. Everything's here. It's getting harder. And I'm telling you that God is revealing hearts to people. He's revealing their true sights. I have found myself deceived, like, oh, they're a good person. They've had me fooled. God says, no, they're evil above all things. Their heart is wicked above all else. They are using you to get close to you, to smite you theirself. And I'm standing in the way to protect you. I'm trying to protect you from the evilness of this person, of this enemy. It is an hour of discernment. It is an hour to draw so close to the Lord so you can hear his still small voice. That first interpretation that you get from somebody, you might want to write it down. And don't question it, because the closer you draw to them and you're in with them in heart, it changes your mind. It changes your mind. You start to let your guard down a little bit. And now you're like, oh, they're not so bad. Maybe I misjudged them. Maybe I thought that they were just a really bad person, but really they're not. Until months or even years go by. And next thing you know, they have done things to you that you thought they might do when God spoke to you in the beginning, and you disregarded, and now they are creating havoc and wickedness. It's an hour of separation. Up in the first part, I would suggest reading this whole chapter. This is where he brought me last night. He said, now God will separate his people. He's separating them. Now he is separating them. He's splitting them up. The sheep from the goats, the good from the evil, the ones that love him, the ones that don't, the ones that have reverence for him, the ones that don't, the ones that are in sin and the ones that aren't, the ones that have potential to be his and the ones that don't. And he's causing a great delusion. He's allowing man's hearts to be hardened. This is the hour of darkness. So many people, I remember a couple years ago, I was so down and depressed. The attacks had just nonstop. I mean, it wears you down, but that's what they come for. They come to wear down the saints. If you're under attack, count it all joy, because that means you're somebody and they're afraid of you and they're against you because of it. So I would cry and weep and tell the Lord, I'll never forget. I said, please, Lord, come quickly. And with an angry voice, he said, don't ever ask me that again. You have no idea what you're asking for and how wicked that day will be. We're about ready to find out. And guess what? It's only beginning. The alien invasions, the Nephilim, and the giants coming back. The chimeras that are already being created. AI, martial law, the mark of the beast, the persecution of the church, the mandate of Sunday law. All of these things are just beginning. Just beginning. They haven't even started. But I'm telling you, it's time to trim the wick on your lamp. Fill your thing with oil And if you're the 5 virgins that is just getting started, you better go buy oil from those that sell it. You better get into your word. You better be reading. You better be meditating on it day and night. And you better be drawing so close to hear the Lord. And pray it's not too late. I hope this touched somebody today. And if you get nothing else out of this, stop complaining. Stop murmuring. And I'm speaking to myself too. Unless we be smite or plagued by the Lord. And I hope this helps you in Yeshua's name. Bye-bye.